Hey, it's Dan again, and welcome back to Unified Gaming. So today we're going to look at the Magicka Necromancer Soulbones build once again, and this time I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on how I play it, so you can help maximise your damage as well as be tanky in the process. So to begin with, I've asked for a friend of mine, Reese, and we're going to just do a couple sort of mock examples of kind of the combos that you could do in battlegrounds or in open world Cyrodiil, and then kind of how you can also go defensive as well in an actual fight. And there will be some gameplay footage towards the end of the video as well. So if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, and if you want to see more content, then subscribe and turn on the bell notifications. Now let's jump right in. So on our bars, we're currently running the same skill setup that's on the build video. So Blast Bones, Skull, Reach, Inner Light, Arcanist, and Soul Assault. These stay exactly the same apart from Arcanist, depending on which combo you want to go for, okay? So I use Arcanist because it's just passive damage, not particularly great, but it's more for the stamina sustain from down here. So using this setup, what I do is I summon the Arcanist and I keep him on. I seal my target, summon Blast Bones, charge a heavy attack, push clench, light attack skull, Soul Assault, and if he didn't have his shields on, he would obviously die very quickly. So that's a really good way to catch somebody running from point to point in battlegrounds. So if the target's not aware of your presence, it gives you kind of a bit of an advantage just to really burst someone down really fast. Alternatively, what you can do is swap out the Skeletal Arcanist for False Pulse. Now what a False Pulse lets you do is lets you add in a bit more burst, and that helps really well. So Reese has, in case you're unsure, a full PvP Sulk build on currently, so he's kind of got what you would expect for a normal sorcerer, so it gives you some sort of idea. Now when I put in a race against time, it's always good to keep it on. So this time I'm going to go keep it on, same combo, but you want to be at sort of as far a range as possible so Blast Bones gets as much damage as possible. So you go buff up, Blast Bones, charge the heavy attack, clench, skull, block, False Pulse, and then you do Soul Assault. So that adds a little bit more burst, as you can see. So another thing you can do, if you don't want to use the stun, you can go Blast Bones, fully charge heavy attack, skull, tap False Pulse, a hit block, and it fires False Pulse instantly. And that does about sort of 2/3 of somebody's health bar, which again is quite nice. He's got 24k health, so he's relatively high health, and he's got a sort of standard armor for a PvP build. Alternatively, you can go and do a heavy attack, skull, False Pulse, block, Soul Assault, and that's for very quick burst damage within a couple seconds. You can land sort of 4 or 5 skills. What you can do is you can go and use clench. So if the target's running away, you know Blast Bones is not going to get to them in time. You can obviously charge a heavy attack, skull, False Pulse, skull, and you go False Pulse again. And what you want to try and do is get the skull and the False Pulse to land. Now in that last clip there, obviously what you will see is that the skull and the False Pulse didn't land quick enough because I didn't hit block after False Pulse fast enough. So what you're wanting to do is get the skull and a False Pulse to land together. At the moment, if you just do skull, False Pulse, it's not really going to create any pressure unless it crits, and you're sort of down to RNG then. So I normally go light attack, skull, block, pulse, block, and that seems to work relatively well. So go light attack, skull, and you see they all landed at once. Sometimes you can skip the first block, so you can just go light attack, skull, False Pulse, block, and that works relatively well. You can do the same with a heavy attack. So heavy attack, skull, and then if you're not quick enough to block, it doesn't animation cancel it. So the way that I like to remember animation cancelling is a bit like the bite point on a car or a motorbike. So when you obviously are pushing down, you kind of want to find the point where the skill will fire as quick as it can, and then obviously the card will pull forward. So you're going to go heavy attack, push the skull, and then I'm managing it there. You can see it lands a lot faster, and you can use that sort of setup to help sort of just create more burst in the combo, and then you chuck Soul Assault at the end of any of those sort of setups. The other option you can do, which I've been toying around with and it works relatively well, is use Elemental Drain. This has the advantage of increasing obviously your damage to the target because they have the breach on them, but it also gives you more sustain. So you can do exactly the same combos. Buff up, You can go Blast Bones, Elemental Drain, Heavy Attack, Skull, dead. And even then he blocked. So it just gives people very little time to react. And the beauty of that setup is you get loads of Magicka back. So if it doesn't quite kill them, you've got really high sustain from Elemental Drain. And you also have some just extra damage against that target. Okay, so in this clip, I've asked Reese to try and kill me as quick as he can. So what I'm doing is, when I tap the skills, I normally tap block straight after. So he's put his eye on the storm. I know this is a Magicka skill, so I choose my harness Magicka, keep my Spirit Mender on. So you can see my sustain is nice and high at the moment. Spirit Mender goes down, put it back on, armor back on. Tap shield, hit block. It activates the shield instantly, so there's no animation. So I do that again, so you see that's the normal animation. So but when I do that, it just applies it instantly, and I don't have to worry about it. And it works with any skill. So if you just tap the skill and tap block straight after, and you can use the resistant flesh. So I can continue like this, and Reese probably won't be able to kill me. But I'm going to deliberately get low now and show you how to recover really fast. Okay. And something else that I think is quite important to mention is the skills that we have and the class itself, the lack of an execute. I know it's got that crit, but a lot of people in this sort of playstyle will just kind of spam skills like this. And if you have the wrong ultimate, you don't really have that ability to just burst someone down. So if Reese goes defensive, I can't do any damage to him because he's just got shields. And even if he gets low, so he's going to get low now. And then even if we got him low, so about 30% health, and he starts to shield up there, and we won't kill him. If we just keep doing that, we're just going to burn through our magic. So he can obviously heal at this point, and we can't really get rid of the shields. So look, and his Twilight's damaging us, our magic pool is pretty much empty. So to obviously solve that issue, what I use is Soul Assault, and a lot of you have obviously noticed that in the gameplay, and it kind of makes up for lack of the execute that the Necromancer has. So what I tend to do is get the target to about 50 to 40% health, and then Soul Assault them. So our Soul Assault's ready, so as you can see Reese is on about 57% health, so at the moment he's too high to burst. So around 60% health, I'm going to go for my Blast Bones, stun, and then obviously if he was stunned, obviously that would kill him, but even without him stunned, it just does a ridiculous amount of damage. Reese, how much damage did it do to you? So it did 15,000 in about 3 seconds on a player, and he's obviously got shields and he's got the burst still from the Twilight. So the Soul Assault's a really good way to execute somebody on the Necromancer. Now I'm just going to quickly duel Reese a couple more times and we'll play the footage really fast, but I won't commentate over them. But I'll just change the skill each time so you can kind of see the difference in what each skill does, so you can kind of get a bit of flexibility there. So in this clip we're just going to duel once more, and we're just going to kind of show what happens if you use Glacial Colossus. So I've asked Reese to go full sort of PvP mode, and you see he's a decent player. He's obviously max CP on Xbox, so he knows kind of what he's doing. So we're going to fight properly, and he's going to try and kill me. I'm going to try and kill him, and I'm going to try and use the Glacial Colossus instead of Solar Sword. You can kind of see the difference in how it performs. Okay, and off we go. Ready? Oh, we managed to get him finally. Whereas Solar Sword would have killed him so much quicker. So yeah, that's kind of, it's a bit lackluster as an ultimate.